What's up? Grown on me, don't try me. Ansel Jones. So whatever happens, happens. Because it's football Sunday, baby. Y'all know the Eagles won. I'm happy about that. So we gonna get this thing popping. So what we talking about today is taking care of yourself. What do you know about taking care of yourself? What does it mean to you? Is it about health, wealth, being selfish, or not having nobody there? What does taking care of yourself mean? What does taking care of yourself mean? That's what we're going to talk about today, y'all. Please hit the like button for me. I would do it for you. One day you'll see. That's all I ask. Eagles, 38-20. And I'm feeling like new money. Super Bowl, I feel it in the air. On some Beanie Siegel time. Yeah, no, I was there. Glad to be here with y'all now. Right now it's going down. What's taking care of yourself? All right, so that's how it's going down. Urban Therapy with Sun 752, and this is the Urban Therapy with Sun show. We do this every single Sunday from tonight. Today we doing it from 5 p.m. till around 6:30-ish. And the reason that we say 6:30-ish is because sometimes it gets so heated that we just have to do a little OT on a Sunday. And it is Sunday. This is the show where adults come out and play with other adults. We laugh, we cry, we argue, fuss and fight, go back and forth with each other, bust it up all crazy. We take an introspective look into our own personality to see the way that the universe projects us into this thing called the world and try to figure out this thing called life. I'm your host, Sun 752, aka Omar with the rrrr. And if you can't say Omar with the rrrr, well, then you just say Omar with the R. This is the Urban Therapy with Sun show. I'm feeling like a real man should. And I hope y'all feeling like real men and women should as well. So today we're talking about taking care of yourself, the meaning of taking care of yourself. What does it mean? When somebody says that they take care of themselves, depending on their age range, where they are in life, their station in life, it can mean a whole lot of different things. Because to some people, taking care of yourself means that you have rejected help from somebody else. Taking care of yourself can mean that your parents are not there. That it can mean that maybe one or both of your parents had abandoned you. You know, there are some people who have grown up sort of like being an orphan. You know, if your parents weren't there, let's say if you were alive in the 80s during the crack era, a lot of children, a lot of youth, a lot of young people at that time had to take care of themselves because their parents were on drugs. And that's just keeping it a buck. So they had to take care of themselves. Now, taking care of yourself, when I speak of it, I'm talking about your health. I'm talking about I'm sorry, yo, hold on. Oh, they must be doing some work in my backyard or something like that. What the hell is that sound? I'm hearing like this clicking noise. Okay, cool. So when I speak of taking care of yourself, I mean keeping yourself safe. I mean taking care of your health. I mean making sure that you don't put yourself in harm's way. I mean making sure that your peoples don't have to look for you, wonder where you are, be worrying themselves sick about you. You know how to take care of yourself. It's sort of like a trust factor when I'm talking about it, because if I know that somebody needs, if I know that somebody that I love or that I care about can take care of themselves, then I don't have to worry about them out in the streets, because I know that they're not going to get into no crazy stuff and come back with black eyes, bloody noses, broken bones, hurt up, shot up, stabbed up, or nothing like that. They know how to take care of themselves. They know how to keep themselves out of harm's way. They know how to make sure that they can go somewhere and come back. They know how to keep their hands to themselves when necessary and let them hands fly Now, taking care of yourself or being able to take care of yourself does not mean that you don't need any help. It does not mean that, to me, now I'm just talking about to me, we're going to talk about y'all and how y'all feel about it the whole way. But when I talk about somebody being able to take care of themselves, that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about that somebody who knows how to handle business. Not just violent business, but I mean actual business, dealing with money, dealing with health, dealing with love, dealing with friends, dealing with, co-workers, business matters, all that. All that. Let me see what we got. You know what I might have to do? I know what I'm gonna have to do. Hold on. This is what I'm gonna have to do today. I'm gonna have to throw the spectacles on. I'm gonna have to throw on the speckies. I'm gonna have to throw on the speckies because I'm not sitting down for a minute today. Today, I'm a rise right in front of your eyes because I am a surprise. So I'm gonna let my knowledge be born. You know what I'm saying? That Rakim tip. So what's up, y'all? What's going on? Grown woman, don't try me. My brother Ansel Jones is in the house. What's going on, my brother Ansel Jones? Also, my people's Time is in the house. What up, Time? What's good? It's good. Always good to see you here. Always. And Carla is all up in the house. What's going on, ma? Good to see me some you, without a doubt. All right. So let me see. I can actually see without them. Just make sure I get it right. Because with these, I don't like the way these glasses are. I need to get the other pair. So if I'm going to do this, I don't like that shit. I'll rock out with these. These ones allow me to actually see. Nah, they ain't going to get it either. I'm going to have to free eye it. Time says, Sun 752 chat family. Hope all is well. Sunday blessings. Stay consistent and healthy. It is definitely a great Sunday because the most hated franchise of football, the Patriots, won today. You a Pats fan? They do look like, this is the best they have looked since Tom Brady left. Ain't no doubt about it. This is the best that they've looked. I mean, I'm almost impressed, but I hate them. That's the only thing. I can't stand the Patriots for obvious reasons. But it's all good. And Tom says, I'm with you. It's definitely your health health is your true wealth. That's all I was thinking about, that meaning. Eating right and preserving your temple, which is your body, not the church word. It could probably be both. It's all good. What's that? Brandon Elwood was good on early as hell, son. Nah, on the weekends we come on. Well, normally, if I didn't have to go to the game today, because I went to the Eagles game, we would have been on at 1:30. But I told y'all yesterday, after yesterday's show, that I would be on after if the Eagles won and after the game. So, you know what I mean? I knew we was going to win, so I dipped out around the fourth quarter. You know what I'm saying? I dipped out in the fourth quarter and got busy. Got busy, baby. So, yeah, on the weekends, we're not on at night. On weekends, we're at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, but thanks for coming through, man. I appreciate you. That's what's up. Chilling, watching football. Got done working. Let's get this little weekend going. Going? Shit, it's almost gone. Going, gone. It's all good though. And FTJJ wants to know Palestine or Israel. Well, first of all, stop spamming. That's number one. Stop spamming, and then I'll answer you. I don't fuck with no Israel. Matter of fact, here's how I feel about Israel. Here's how I feel about Palestine. But this is how I feel about Israel. This is how I feel about Palestine. But this is how I feel about Israel. Palestine. This is how I feel about North Philly. This is how I feel about South Philly. This is how I feel about Germantown. This is how I feel about Mount Airy. That's a Philly thing. That's a Philly thing, baby. All right, so taking care of yourself, man. You know, taking care of yourself can mean so many different things. It really can. It really can. And you probably don't really think a whole lot about what it means to take care of yourself until you run into somebody who really doesn't know how to take care of themselves. You know, we all have that person in our lives that does not know how to take care of themselves, and they be scaring the shit out of us all the time. You worry about them when they go to work. You worry about them when they go to school. You definitely worry about them when they go out to play. So if they say that they're going out, you know, they're going out to a bar, they're going out to a club, they're going out to, you know, this place and that place, you'd be like, who's going with you, baby? Who's going with you, baby? You need me to drive you there? I can pick you up from there. Gonna be out long? Yo, don't drink strong. Will you be smoking and shit? You know I don't like you token. Yo, I'm worried about you. I'm worried about I'm worried about you. I don't really know what you gonna do when a person don't know how to take care of themselves. You don't know if they ever in good health. You be like, yo, man, I don't know. This shit is crazy as a motherfucker. That ain't my flow. I said, I gotta watch you every step, and I don't like that shit. I be like, Pep. Yeah, I get hype. Niggas want to be down with the program, but it's really not that night. And I say, what we gonna do about it? Yo, I can't stop them. They grown, so I gotta shout it out and ask, can you please just chill tonight? Yo, I'm trying to get right. Every weekend, almost like every day, when the phone rings, I don't know what you're gonna say. Don't know how to take care of yourself. You reckless in a motherfucker, always fucking up your health. What we going to do, man? They don't know how to really shine. I'm going to try to help you out, but yo, it's just like really, really, really heavy for the God. You know what I'm saying? It's really, really heavy for the God. So, where you from? I'm from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. That's where I am from. And everybody on here is from Philly too, even if they not, because I adopted them. So now y'all live in Philly. Pick an address. You need a zip code? I got you. I got you. All right, so wait a minute. I can read it right here. All right, wait a minute. Okay. Let's see. Tom says it's always Uncle Free Willie. I don't know how to take care of that don't know how to take. Wait a minute. I don't know how to take care of himself. What the brother can hustle his ass off. I mean, listen, man. You know one thing about a person that indulges, whether they indulge in substance abuse or whether they indulge in drinking or whatever, you always kind of have to. You got the good drinkers, you know, some people who know how to time their liquor. You know what I mean? They don't be all. You know what I mean? They might sip, you know what I'm saying? You know, like your auntie or your uncle back in the day. You know what I'm saying? He used to nurse. He have a straight like 3 shots in his glass, but he was nursing that shit, you know, like playing his cards, talking his shit, smoking his, you know, cigarettes or whatever, but he was chilling. Drink slow. He was drinking slow. So he got high slow. Then, you know, you got your crazy ass cousin and shit. Yeah. Where the weed at? Where the weed at? Yo, you got any blow? I'm saying, I know you don't get down like that, but you know what I'm saying. Let me know. Let me know if you want to, because yo, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get nice tonight. I'm trying to get nice tonight. I'm trying to get nice tonight. I'm trying to get, I got it. Need a little nose candy. Need a little nose candy. That booger sugar. Nobody want no booger sugar. You know we don't get down like that. But he get down like that. And you can't, anybody who mess around with coke, man, you can't, anybody who mess around with coke, you know, you just don't know. You just don't know. But I'm going to say this. There is no way that you can you can be a cokehead and tell me that you take care of yourself. No way. No. You can drink. You can be a drinker and make me believe that you still take care of yourself. I know people who smoke cigarettes and still otherwise take care of themselves. But them motherfucking cokeheads, first of all, you know they don't do that around everybody because it ain't the thing to do. Sidebar, did anybody see No Limit Records versus Cash Money Records last night in the Verses? Y'all see that shit? Anybody see it? No Limit waxed that ass. But Cash Money would have won. I hate to say it. I was always on No Limit side, but Cash Money would have won. If Lil Wayne would have showed up, maybe Drake, Nicki, and maybe Tyga. You said the Verses was trash. It was. But No Limit won. But I believe that Cash Money would have won. They would have won. I mean, they had more known hits. No Limit was as strong as Cash Money, and it was before Cash Money. But Cash Money had those really known generational, you know, them hits that people still be talking about now. You know what I mean? You know, if Lil Wayne would have showed up, that might have tipped the scales in their favor, but it was like the Juvenile show. They ain't had nobody but Juvenile and BG. And that tells you how business is handled. All of these years later, damn near 30 years later, and Master P still can have most of his people that was down with his record label all the way back then. He could have them show up to the Verses, and they was all in fatigues. Meanwhile, Cash Money, they not looking like nothing together. You know what I'm saying? Like BG, I ain't even recognize BG because I remember him from the early 2000s. Like he got braids now. I was like, that's BG? He don't sound like him, look like him, like himself. You know what I mean? All the jail time, Turk wasn't there. But speaking, you know, that kind of goes into the whole taking care of yourself thing, because I think that most of No Limit felt the need to show up because they knew that Master P looked out for them. He helped take care of them. And he showed them how to take care of themselves. He put them up on game. Like, I'm going to give you this opportunity on my label, but I'm going to show you how to win on your own, how to take care of yourself. Meanwhile, Cash Money, he made sure that they look good in the videos and all of that kind of stuff, but then he didn't give them no money. He didn't give them no money. He jerked them on their contracts and things like that. And that's why they wouldn't represent for him all of this time later. They ain't gonna do it, even for money this time. I don't think they would have showed up even if he paid them. But it be like that sometimes. He forced them to take care of themselves. Now they won't take care of him. But it is what it is. My brother from another mother, Norris Hill, sit back, relax, do your thing, Max, and chill. How you feeling, my dude? Are you telling me that there really only 2 people left in here? Like, is that true? Is that a fact? You know, like, because I'm like, now it says 1 person. At one point it says 0. Like, am I looking at 0? I don't know. This shit is weird. You know, they ain't giving me no algorithm. Do me a favor, y'all. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Make sure y'all hit the like button because, like, you know, I'm trying to get back into the algorithm. YouTube is like, YouTube is making sure I'll have to take care of myself because they ain't giving out no love. They ain't showing no love, baby. I need y'all to show love because they won't show none. All right, so no, it says I'm in the apartment that ends with the half. What up? What's going on, my brother? Good to see me some you. Grown woman says, Ansel, we've been waiting for the album. You know what I'm saying? Philly stand up without a doubt. Oh, shit. Tom says, I'm definitely living in Swarthmore. Swarthmore? You gonna move out in the county? Nah, son, nah. Tom says, Pops always told me brothers that that was nursing a drink didn't have. He always told me that brothers that was nursing a drink didn't have enough money to buy another one. That's why they was holding on to those 40 ounces of private stock and Old English with that gin and juice. That was a different situation. Yeah, I know what you talking about. That's why I said your old hair uncle, because your old hair uncle had plenty of money to drink. He just knew he was going to be drinking all night, so he ain't rushed to the finish line. He said, ho. Hey, young blood, you go ahead and do what you do. But, you know what I mean? I got time. And plus, if he was concentrating on a card game, he ain't want to be all blasted and losing his money. You know what I'm saying? You know old heads be taking cards seriously. I don't care what game they playing. You know, they don't like to lose. I don't blame them. Who likes losing? That shit is no fun. Tom says, No Limit versus Cash Money. Mystical wasn't there. That's true for No Limit. And Lil Wayne wasn't there for Cash Money. But it didn't matter. It was trash to me. I ain't gonna argue with it. But I ain't think it was trash. I just, you know, I think it could have been better. But, you know, I only saw a few verses where I was like, yo, this joint really, really nice. But it was good to see the verses coming back and see that it wasn't just because of the pandemic. So it was good. That was a good look to me. Birdman was about to pass out while he was talking Jack. While he was talking, Jack brother needs to take care of himself. I know. He looked like he didn't look like he was gonna pass out when he was dissing Turk. That shit was crazy. No, I just said Mystical. You can't handle that. Did I do that? Mystical really fucked up his life, didn't he? He just made a mess of his life. I don't think we'll ever hear Mystical with another hit. He really got a problem. Tom says Master P made sure everybody that was on No Limit had music on the billboard, and he was behind every artist. And don't forget he had Snoop Dogg as part of No Limit. That's true. That's true. But that's a testament to what he did for everybody. You know, sure. He had his picks. He made sure that he made sure that his two brothers had more than everybody else. But he also took care of Amir X. You know what I mean? He looked out for cats. And it showed. You know what I mean? Cats, showed up. Rest in peace, Skullduggery and Soulja Slim. It was funny because Soulja Slim was down with No Limit and Cash Money. I think that's some shit. Tom says YouTube be playing games with their owner and wait, playing games like their owner, the devil. You and I know that this chat know that the devil's a liar. That's facts. And so says verses show me how money gives a key to doors. Really? Well, when we talking about the music industry, we talking about money, period. And one thing is for sure that in the music industry, it's all about in corporate period, it's all about self-preservation. If you're looking for somebody to take care of you in the music industry, well, you're in for a very, very rude awakening. A very, very rude awakening. But, still I rise. Still we rise. Still we rise. We. So when does a person get the feeling that they need to take care of themselves? When does it occur to a person that they need to take care of themselves because nobody else will? And is that the catalyst? Is nobody taking care of you your gateway to having to take care of yourself? And I ask that question because that can probably be the difference between taking care of yourself being a good thing and taking care of yourself being a not so good thing or a straight up bad thing. Some people look at having to take care of themselves or having to take care of yourself as a bad thing because, we've probably nowadays heard a bunch of children, young people, teenagers, maybe early 20s, talk about how they've had to take care of themselves. Nobody took care of them when they were growing up. They ain't have nobody. I've heard a lot of teenagers lying, talking about, well, I raised myself. I basically raised myself. What is basically raised yourself? Either you did or you didn't. That's what it comes down to when it comes to raising. Either you raised yourself or you didn't. Now, what does it take to be able to raise yourself? In order to be able to raise yourself, you got to have money. You got to have money. So where in your young journey did you have enough money to take care of yourself in the way that would be sustainable? Where did you live? Where did you live? Who bought your clothes? Who enrolled you in school? There's a lot that goes on that goes along with taking care of yourself. Like you take somebody like the late, great James Brown. Hold on. Y'all gotta stop playing with the guys. Y'all gotta stop playing with the guys. Oh, maybe it wasn't a knock. Maybe it wasn't a knock. I thought I heard a little knock. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it wasn't. But like I said, James Brown dropped out of school in like 3rd or 4th grade. So he could barely read and write. You know what I mean? And part of the reason that he dropped out of school at such a young age is because he really didn't have the parental guidance. So for him to get to rise to the level that he got to professionally was not that short of a miracle. You know, he was basically starting his own record company and stuff like that. And you know, when you don't have an education, it's very hard. It can be very hard to make it in business because cats have learned to outthink you. You know, you're not really thinking in terms of the X and O's. Shit, you might not be able to count, but so high. But yes, he had to kind of take care of himself, and he was getting into legal trouble and stuff like that. You know, I mean, so to become the Godfather of soul, and still what I would call the world's hardest working, what did it say, the hardest working man in show business? He earned that title. He earned that title by really, really putting in that pain. He wasn't no joke. JB. Let's see. Grown woman says, no, because you should always take care of yourself first. Ansel says, graduating from school and retiring from a job, you learn free time is expensive. Interesting. And Time says, Sunset about two. My pops always told me to take care of myself and watch the people that you are around. And you're gonna have to change your eating habits and don't have more habits than those habits creating you. Okay, all right. I ain't mad at none of that. It sounds like sound advice to me. Some people think that taking care of yourself means that you don't need any help or that you have to refuse help or that you have refused help. And I don't really think that that's true. I don't think that that's true. I know I don't subscribe to that type of thinking. You know, I believe that everybody should learn how to take care of themselves where and when it's necessary. You know, I mean, that's I've been raised to definitely have the tools to take care of yourself. For example, my dad taught me a lot on the business side, how to think in terms of the money, making deals, being able to talk to people, make sure that you don't alienate people or make them be against you. So, you know, basically, he taught me a lot about diplomacy, shit like that. My mom taught me a lot about basic skills. Basic skills like knowing how to cook, clean, wash your own clothes, stay up on your hygiene. Basically all of the stuff that you'll need in order to feed yourself, keep yourself up, keep your strength right. So, my mom and my dad had a lot in common as far as being able to be independent. But neither one of them were so independent that they cut other people off from being around them or helping them out. They didn't refuse help. In fact, they would invite help, which is a lot different from other people because they didn't let the ego get in the way. They didn't let their ego get in the way of them being able to have people around them that would help them out. And they helped out a lot of other people too. And I'm not describing them like they were perfect because they were far from that. We all made mistakes. We all did shit on purpose that was fucked up. But my mom and my dad always put themselves in a position where if nobody would help them out, that they would have enough to be able to make it to the next tier the next phase in life. They did that. I can't be mad at that. I can't be mad at that, you know what I'm saying? So that's a good look. All right, you know what I'm gonna do? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put my drums away. Put my drums away. All right, let's go. Let's go. Yeah. Yeah. Put my drums away. Put my drums away. Please hit the like button, y'all. Hit the like button. Share the show. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. This is the Urban Therapy with Sun Show. I'm your host, Sun752, aka Omar with the and if you can't say Omar with the well, then you just say Omar with the R. And we are talking about the meaning of taking care of yourself. What does it mean? What does it mean? What does it mean exactly? What does it mean exactly? When you hear somebody say that they take care of themselves, let's talk about expectations for a minute, shall we? Can we? Can we talk about expectations for a minute? What do you expect of a person as far as taking care of themselves? Do you have any requirements for somebody or any expectations of somebody that you know or that you care about or that you are in charge of as far as taking care of themselves is concerned? Does anybody have that? Because I'll tell you, for me, when I think about somebody taking care of themselves, I'm thinking about them having the skills to be able to make money, to be able to maintain the things that they get, to be able to obtain things and to be able to keep things. So, you know, when I think about somebody being able to take care of themselves, I'm thinking about somebody who can safely go get what they want or need and come back with it and keep it. Because it's not what you can get, it's what you can keep. If you can't keep anything that you get, it's like borrowing money and just having to pay it back. You know what I mean? You know, like, let's say you borrow money to go gambling and then you win the money, but you only won back enough to pay back what you borrowed. Like, you need to find another hobby or profession, my dude. If you only won enough money to pay back what you borrowed from somebody, you hustling backwards. So that's like not being able to keep what you went and got. And that don't sound like a good look to me. That don't sound like the thing to do. That don't sound like the place to be. That sounds like, It was like, Let me see. What my peeps I'm talking about. Okay. Tom says, I believe James Brown didn't have a choice back then. Forget them books. I need money. I need money now, and I have to chase my dreams today, just like Sam Cooke and the rest of them. Yeah. A lot of singers, a lot of performers, a lot of people in the industry back in the day didn't have a decent, like even a high school education. And the problem is, that's why so many of them got shitted on with terrible contracts. You know, look, college is not for everybody. At least that's what they tell me, because I believe that it is for everybody. It doesn't mean that everybody has to go, but it's open for everybody, and everybody and anybody will benefit from going. Because at the very least, when you go to college, you learn how to think, not just react. You learn how to think. So you learn how to think things through. So when somebody just comes to you with some outlandish, crazy, sounding shit that ain't adding up, you can detect it. When you don't even go to high school or whatever like that, and please don't take this the wrong way, but a lot of times you will lean on the Lord because you don't understand how life works. So when somebody can, so if somebody can convince you that God controls everything, and he may, but that doesn't mean that you don't have to do anything. But when somebody presents themselves as somebody who can act as a go-in-between or liaison between God and man, they might catch you out there because you don't know no better. You haven't learned any better. And that could be a problem. Major. That can be a major problem. So, yeah, no. So, yeah. A lot of those cats had to, they was born in the South. So, you know what the South was like back in Jim Crow. That's why when I hear these right-wing Republicans talking about, these conservatives talking about, when during Jim Crow, black people had it better because they stuck together and, the father was in the home. I know if the father was in the fucking home, then why was we suffering from racism and poverty and lack of education and all of that shit? My dad was born in 1937 and his dad was not there. He wasn't the only one, and he was born in the South, born down in North Carolina. So this, his mom wasn't there either. So he grew up without both of his parents, the mom and the dad. Mom went up to New York. Dad went to Pennsylvania, Chichester, a little area out in Delaware County called Twin Oaks. So Chichester is right here. Twin Oaks is right there. I mean, Chichester is over here. Twin Oaks is right there. But anyway, so yeah. So at a young age, even though my dad was raised by his grandparents, he pretty much knew that he was going to have to learn how to take care of himself. So he wound up in the Army because he was working as a construction worker, a contractor, some kind of thing, something like that. And he asked his boss, could he learn a skill instead of being a laborer? And his boss told him that his wife didn't think that it would be a good idea if he became a skilled employee instead of being a laborer. And he said the next week he was in the Army. And I'm like, wait a minute, Dad. What do you mean the next week you was in the Army? First you have to go to recruiter. They took you right, like they just you went into the recruiter, they suited you up that day. But anyway, he went to the Army, So because nobody else was going to take care of him, he had to find a way to take care of himself. And that's a story with a lot of people. Man, where I got the sneezies? Where I got that from? Yeah. So, like my mom, she grew up in a family of 10. She grew up in a family of 10. It was like 10 kids, some old crazy shit like that. So because she was the oldest girl, she had to take care of her siblings a lot of times. So she graduated. She was like 16. Somehow she graduated early and she got on up out of there. Went from Arkansas to Milwaukee. So you know how that go. All right. Okay. Tom says, just imagine being the godfather of soul and didn't finish school. He had a purpose to become the hardest working man in show business. Yeah, but he lost so much money because he was getting shitted on, and it wasn't nothing he could do about it. Wasn't nothing he could do about it. Now he made a lot of money, but nowhere near what he actually made. He didn't walk away with as much as he actually made. Make sure y'all hit the like button. I just need y'all to do that little favor. Hit the like button. You know what I'm saying? Smash that thing. And Tom says, what I got out of my parents is that they both was independent, that they relied on each other, and it was a journey of the lessons. Learning how to listen to understand is what I got from both of them. Yeah, I like that. That's good. And so says, I learned other people's expectations has an unclear finish line. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. I hear what you're saying. Grown Woman Don't Try Me says, true, because they didn't understand and had no one trustworthy to help them. Exactly. You know, they was dealing with sharks. So they was losing money. They was losing thousands and thousands of dollars. And you got to think how much thousands and thousands of dollars was back in the 50s and 60s. Come on, man. Come on. They left a fortune on the table. They sold way more records than they'll ever know about. Exactly what they sold. Bad deals. They didn't know to get legal representation. They was getting shitted on. My brother from another mother, Norris Hill, says, I just finished listening to Black Titan, a story about A.G. Gaston. Bless you too, Ansel. Appreciate it. So yeah, taking care of yourself means a lot. It means a lot of different things to a lot of people. So when you think about taking care of yourself on a personal level, and then when you think about somebody else being able to take care of themselves and the reason that they have to take care of themselves, you might come up with a whole lot of different reasons. I mean, if I would have had a little bit more time, I would have made more. But that's okay. I got my trusty water. Look. So at least I got my drink. I got that drink. But yeah, man, you know, taking care of yourself. You want to make sure that your kids know how to take care of themselves. You want to make sure that your spouse or your love is able to take care of themselves. Not that it means that you won't take care of them, but you want to make sure that they are safe. So I don't see how you can say that you take care of yourself and you're not concerned with safety. Safety is important as hell. You know, if you can't trust somebody, okay. Yeah, I'm looking at this picture of my daughter. She texted me and told me that she got her braces taken off, right? So I was like, send me a picture. She was like, I'll show you when I see you. I ain't trying to send me a damn picture. Yo, it was like pulling teeth. It was literally like pulling teeth. I'm glad she got her braces off. That's cool. She got her braces off. How cool. Yeah, I mean, she acting like she wasn't gonna send me that picture. I'm like, man, You wilding right now. You wailing right now, son. You wailing. You wailing right now. She good. She good to go. Hold on. Oh, let me make sure. Hold on. Let me take care of something real quick. Make sure that they can get in here when they let me put it this way. Make sure that they can take care of their BI. All right, cool. Make sure that they. Oh, I ain't gonna leave it up. Make sure that they can handle their BI when the time comes. When the time. When champ. But yeah, and she was acting like she want to send me that picture. Yo, gotta stop playing with me, man. I mean, like, we're not doing this. And so says people don't understand not having a safety net. Some people just don't understand not being safe. It's just not being safe. And so you was in the military for a good minute. And I'm sure one of the ongoing themes of being in the military is that they insist that you learn how to help your brothers out, your brothers and your sisters out. And they also insist that you learn how to take care of yourself. Like, it's part of the training. Like, there's no way around it. You have to be able to, get yourself to safety and to avoid trouble, whether the trouble is enemy, whether the trouble is location, whether it's a natural disaster, whatever. You get trained for that. Well, most civilians don't get that exact training. They don't get trained in that way. So they have to rely on training in another form. Now, that can be a good thing, but it may not be on that level. That military training is solidified, it's concrete. Tom says, one of the things that I have to learn is that I am my own safety net. Interesting. You are your own safety net. Well, I'll say this. Most of us have to, or we ultimately control our own destiny. But it doesn't carry out the same way for everybody. We control our own destiny, but our destinies are different. For somebody who grew up without parental guidance, survival may be their number one priority. Just staying alive, literally. So if they have to be out there on the streets and they have to align themselves with a crew that's selling a little something, they might do that. In some really positive cases, even some people who didn't grow up with parents will take their ass to school all the time and go ahead and get their education and do things the right way. But it shouldn't be surprising that isn't the way that everybody who had to make it without their parents takes care of themselves. It shouldn't be surprising at all, because the temptation of the streets is one thing, and also not just the temptation of the streets, but the fact that you're going to need money. And one thing that you will always run into in life that people will try to convince you of is that you need money. You need money. You need money, and you need a lot of it, and you need it fast. And you'll see that too, because they're going to be things that you want to buy. You know what I mean? Food, clothing, and shelter. Straight survival, food, clothing, and shelter. Now, does everybody juggle food, clothing, and shelter the same way? No, of course not. Of course not. There are a lot of differences between the way that people juggle food, clothing, and shelter. There are a lot of differences. So, well, no, I said that wrong. I didn't mean the way that people juggle food, clothing, and shelter. Well, there are differences there. But where I was really trying to go with it was there are a lot of differences in the way that people consider survival to be. Like survival to me might be literally staying alive, being healthy, not being sick, being well enough to go to work and, make it in that way. For other people, staying alive may be literally staying alive because they may have grown up in a family that had really debilitating diseases. Like when I talk about staying alive, I imagine it's a lot different than, hey, look who's here, the cat. Speaking of cat, I got a story to tell y'all. I'm sorry, y'all. What the fuck is going on here? Hold on, y'all. Brighten up my day. Always sunshine. Sunshine. All right, where you at? Bring me my shit. Here you come. Here you come.
What's going on, man?
I got it.
You grab this picture real quick.
All right. All right, thank you.
You have a good day, man.
You too. Amazon. Show y'all what I got. He just delivered the joint. Let me see. See what I got. I ordered a pair of Nike sweatpants. See if they good. Straight out Pizzac. Yeah. Everything seems to be in order. They ain't broke, so I won't fix them. What you running over here for? All right, we cool. But yeah, being healthy enough to go to work. So yeah, I don't. With me, I'm always thinking about having to sustain an income. And that's whether you work a 9 to 5 or whether you hustle, whether you get your hustle on or whether you work a 9 to 5, you got to be able to be healthy enough to do that. But if I grew up in a family that was racked with like sickle cell, then staying alive would probably mean a lot different. It might mean a lot, something a lot different than somebody else. You know what I mean? Just staying alive. Staying alive. Staying alive. Staying alive. What up, Ali? He says, very beautiful. I was married to a woman for 20 years. And damn, you say that shit every time you come in here. What's the deal? You need some new material, son. You need some new material. So like I said, staying alive for somebody who grew up in a family that had a lot of, sickle cell, heart disease, autoimmune diseases, mad diabetes, shit that you really can't play around with, and those are things that will will determine your lifestyle. Those are lifestyle determining factors. So, survival for somebody in those positions is different. It's different than what we talking about. It's different than what we talking about. So, you know, we have to approach that from a different angle. We got to approach it from a different angle. Tom said, when I was growing up, to see the brothers that go to jail and have to have their mothers as a safety net, that puts a toll on the safety of safety net. Puts a toll on the safety net person. He also says, my pop said he's going to be the safety net one time, especially if I go to jail. Go to jail, play all prison, because only one person you let me down is your mother. Only person who let me down is your mother, and not me. She carried you. I'm just taking care of you. Okay. And so it says paying my own bills was the biggest adult lesson. If paying your own bills don't grow you up, nothing really will. There are plenty of adults who still can't get used to it. They can't get used to it. Whew. Tom says, survival can also mean living paycheck to paycheck for some people. It can. It can. But at least you have a paycheck to get to. You know what I mean? And if you expecting a check, that means you put in some work. You can get it together. If that's the case, a lot of people are living check to check. A lot of people are living check to check. And if you don't think they living check to check, let them miss a check and see how it go. Yeah, you might not know you living check to check until you miss a check. Wait till, man, when they shut down food stamps at the end of this month, you're going to see what survival looks like up close and personal. This shit is not sweet. And we're going to really see what living paycheck to paycheck looks like. It's about to get ugly. Ansel said, Tom says, Ansel, I was always taught to save your money for a rainy day. Shit, I save my money for a sunny day. Real shit. Save my money for sunny days. You know, sunny days. Everybody loves them. Tell me, baby, can you stand the rain? Yeah, I want the money I save to be for something that I want, you know, something good. Not just for something, you know what I mean? Not just for an emergency situation. Shit, we all know that it seems like as soon as you start stacking your money good, the refrigerator breaks down, your car needs a new transmission or some old crazy shit like that. We gotta handle that. That's just something we gotta deal with. You know what I'm saying? Something we gotta deal with. We gotta deal with it, son. We gotta deal with it. Tom says there are adults still looking for a hookup. Ain't nothing wrong with a hookup. I ain't got no problem with a hookup. A hookup ain't nothing but a blessing or a favor. You can't live off of that though. That's straight dependence. When you living off of a hookup is supposed to happen once. If you need a hookup on a daily basis or on some kind of regular basis, that's not a hookup no more. That's a system. That's a way of life. I'm not sure if anybody really wants to, do that with you. I don't know. I don't think so. My brother from another mother, Norris Hill, says, stay tuned for the shit show called Snap Out. Snapped Out. Man. That's some serious shit. But what we're gonna see is it ain't gonna just be no black people and no Latinos going crazy. You know how we always say that there are more white people on welfare than black people, but some black people don't believe that shit? You're about to see. You're about to see how it goes down like you never saw before. That shit is about to get up close and personal. We're about to see it. Word mother, for real, for real. We're not going to be on for a long time today. Yeah, because, you know, I just wanted to make sure that we got a show in today, but we're not going, I'm not going to do 2 hours today. I really just wanted to come on, you know, have this conversation real quick and, you know, get busy. Make sure that we keep ourselves in the conversation loop. What the fuck are you doing? Yo. What are you doing? Just be over here making noise, son. Just be over here making noise. I don't you know what I mean? I'm like, what's going on? What we doing? What we doing? So look, this is what we gonna do. I'm about to do these birthday shout outs. And then I'm gonna let you good people get on with the rest of your day. I literally only wanted to do an hour today. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got things to do. Sort of up. I want to finish watching the Eagles highlights. All right, so let's do this. We have some birthday shout outs to do. Some people were born on this glorious October 26th, and they deserve to be acknowledged. So let's go about our business of acknowledging them and making them feel special because they are special, because they are special, because they are S-P-E-C-I-A-L. They get the R-E-S-P-E-C-T. They are S-P-E-C-I-A-l. They get the R-E-S-P-E-C-T. They are S-P-E-C-I-A-l. They get the R-E-S-P-E-C-T. They get number one out the box. Julianne Brandon Dunlap, and also Sonia Allen, Lisa Cottrell, Shanique Harvey, Doc Davenport, Brandy Green, Laverne Hummel, Rachel Mothersell, Shauna Hall Allen, Tyra Montgomery, my girl go-getter Shanae Brown. Last but not least, I want to say happy birthday to all of y'all. And I hope that today finds you all in good health, happiness, mind, body, soul, and spirit. And that goes out to each and every person out there born on this glorious October 26th, anywhere out there in the world, worldwide, internationally, and universally. All of y'all go ahead and turn up. But don't turn up too loud. Just turn up loud enough so everybody can hear you. Rock out. Rock on and do the damn, the rock out. Rock on and do the damn rock out. Rock on and do the damn thing. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. Good things happen to those who wait. Great things happen to those who grind. And anything can happen to those who go for theirs. So go hard, go for yours, and remember, taking care of yourself. Taking care of yourself means self-preservation. It means that you have reserved things for yourself. It means that you are safe. You know how to get to safety, and you know how to return in a safe way. It can also mean that you can teach other people how to reach safety or take care of themselves as well. Health is wealth, and that's not something that can be discounted. One thing that we didn't get into while we were while we were talking today was how some people look at taking care of yourself as selfishness. Like, yeah, you take care of yourself and you don't take care of anybody else. And of course, that's a disputable thing. But I think it should be noted that's the way that some people look at it. You know? So we always have to be on the lookout for that and kind of keep that in mind. Be on notice about it. Peace to all my day ones, my everydays, and my brand news. I love y'all to death. Resuscitate y'all. I love y'all right back to life. We will be back tomorrow night, Monday going into Tuesday, 2 a.m. in the morning. So make sure y'all come on through. I'm going to thank all of y'all for coming through. I know it was impromptu. I gave no warning. I just came in like gangbusters, like we're going to do this thing. But I appreciate y'all rocking out with me for this time. Y'all go have a good rest of y'all day, kick it with y'all peoples, y'all feelings, and make sure your family, and take care of yourselves. And I holla back. Make sure y'all hit the like button on your way out. Holla. Peace.